Worksop Town FC are considered to be the worst reputation team in the playable leagues in Football Manager, and today I've given them £1 billion to spend in the transfer market, well, in the balance anyway, and given them £1 billion in income every single year. So let's see, in 20 years, where will they be? Will they be in the Premier League winning Premier League titles, or will they be stuck in non-league? This is the £1 billion rebuild. So yes, we have given Worksop a bunch of money. They have they now have 1 billion in the balance, and they have an income of 1 billion in the value. We have renewed this income and given them a fixed value, which means, Craig Parry, you should be winning the league easily. As we can see, if we go to England and go to club list, when you go all the way down to the bottom, you will see Concord Rangers, Gloucester City and Kettering Town are not in a playable league, so we couldn't choose any of them. So are Dulwich Hamlet and Billericay Town. So yeah, those teams have reputation that are bad, but Worksop is considered to be the worst reputation team that is in a playable league. So yeah, we're going to simulate one season to see how they do in the National League North. Hopefully, they don't get relegated because they have some dreadful players and are predicted to get last in the National League North. Okay, so it's the end of the season now, and Worksop have finished a respectable 4th in the league. They go into the playoffs, which haven't been played yet, but they are in the playoffs. So that's a good return for the first season. They won 22 and drew 9 and lost 14. So the 14 was quite bad compared to the other teams. They lost their last game, and if they'd have won their last game, they wouldn't have got up because Fylde and South Shield were they were too good for the league. So Worksop, they didn't sign anyone for any money, but we don't expect that at this level. They did sell some players for 2.1k, but that's 2.1k. It's not really anything. They signed Alvaro Ruiz Rente, who is a 72 current ability player. He looks not too bad compared to the squad on loan. If we have a look at the general squad is, if we put on current ability, the general squad is, 82, 72. So having Alvaro Ruiz Rente is actually quite good because he's one of the better players at the club. If we have a look at other players that they loaned in this Polish goalkeeper. I know he's English, but he's Polish. Yeah, the Polish goalkeeper. Also from Birmingham. Do they have a Birmingham affiliate? I'm going to assume so. They do not. Why do they sign 2 players from Birmingham? I don't know. And then they signed Leo Graham, who is one of the better players at the club. So they did quite well in the transfer market. Worksop have kept much of their money. Yes, they've kept 1 billion of the 1 billion they had and have a transfer budget of 102 million. Wow. I can't wait for them to go professional soon. The money value for 1 billion, that's still there. That's good. So they have a wage budget of 1.4 million. Well, Craig Parry, you have a lot of money to spend. Unfortunately, money does not mean success, and Worksop did not manage to get promoted from the National League North, so we'll be spending another season in the National League North. Let's simulate a second season to see how they do in the second season. If they can't get promoted, we'll go bigger jumps like 5 seasons and check back on their progress. let's get simming. It is now season 2, and disappointingly, Worksop finished 13th. The money can't buy success, as is shown by this here. They still have their 1 billion balance, but it's gone down to 790, so not going very well. They've still got their 1 billion income coming in. They didn't sign anyone that great, to be honest. They just signed a bunch of players and are free. Hopefully next season they will sign a bunch of good players. Hopefully they'll sign a bunch of good players. Craig Parry, you're doing a great job, mate. But come on, you were the manager of Pontefract. Like, come on, man. Just, come on. You need to be winning the league. Come on. Can't have this where the experiment fails, because if it fails, then we can learn that money does not buy success. So the Premier League should all fail, I guess. So it is now the 3rd season, and let's see how Worksop are doing in the league. They have, if we get the right league, they are 4th again in the playoffs. Can they this time make the playoffs push to win the playoffs? Can they? They were predicted to get 1st in the league, so very disappointed they didn't get 1st in the league. Did they make any good signings? They spent 39,000 this year on few players. So they spent some on Jay Williams, who is 73. Not too bad. They should really be getting better quality. Quality, yeah. They got this player from Alfreton. They spent 2 players from Alfreton Town. This player, Jaden Davidson, he is quite good for the level that they're at. And Avenel, I think that's how you say it, he is good as well. So they have been doing very good in the transfer market. The biggest rating was Dan Meredith, who, looking at his attributes, looks quite good for the level. And yeah, he's 74 rated. That's quite good for the level. He's been putting in an absolute shift at right or left back, wherever he plays, with a 7.15 average rating. So, can Worksop get promoted this time? Hopefully they can. Unfortunately, Worksop have not got promoted once again. Does this mean money does not buy success? I'd say so far. Craig Parry has to get sacked, and yeah, they've got a great player here in Jawad Pova here, who looks quite good, but he's not very good at the level. He's 18 years of age, but you know, I just don't think with the 242 million they've got, they should be able to buy training facilities, youth facilities. Just they need someone better than Craig Parry. Hopefully they get someone better than him. They lost to Radcliffe 1-0. Hopefully they spend big this time. Hopefully. Worksop have now finally got promoted. Let's have a look. Have Worksop got promoted to the Vanarama National League? They've got in the playoffs, so that's something. But will they win the playoffs? Okay, so the year after, Worksop got 11th. Not a respectable 11th, quite mid-table, that's perfectly fine. Nowhere near the promotion playoffs or the promotion or being a champion. But in 32, 33, they finally got promoted from League 2. And finally the money's coming in. How much did they spend this season? They spent £425,000 in League 2. So how much did Accrington Stanley spend? They spent 9k. Wimbledon spent 42, 29. So yeah, they're spending way more than everyone else is spending. They're spending way more than everyone is spending, with James Oliver Pearce in charge, who is actually quite a good coach he's quite a good manager, to be honest, for the level that they're at. The players that they're signing are not the best, I'd say, for this level, but you know, they did the job, and that's all we can ask for. So I'm gonna go 5 seasons now. 5 seasons to see, can they get to the Premier League, or will they flop, and will the challenge be a fail? So the last time we were checking in with Worksop, they had been promoted from League Two in the 2032-33 season. So in the 2033-34 season, if we get it loaded up, they got, let's have a look, they got not promoted. If we have a look, they finished 6th and did not get promoted. The 35-36 season, they didn't do anything special with a 0-goal difference. Not really anything of note in the 2035-36 season. The 2036-37 season, they finally got promoted on 71 points from the playoffs. Quite good. And then in the championship, if we have a look at the championship, this season they have finished a 20th. They've got not relegated. They're doing okay in the championship. If we have a look at how much money they've been spending a lot of money. 7.5 million. Other teams do spend more, so they aren't spending that much. If we have a look at how much money they actually do have of the 1 billion we gave them, they still have 965 million of the 1 billion we keep giving them every season. As you can see, the 1 billion is still renewing and fixed value. So yeah, they don't have any debts, and yeah, they have great facilities, great youth facilities. They're doing quite well, you see. So we're gonna go another 2 seasons, see if they can get promoted, and then if they can't get promoted in 2 seasons, then we're gonna, you know, see how long it takes them to get to the Premier League. But we're gonna come back in 2 seasons to see if they're in the Premier League. So it's been 2 seasons now. Hopefully, Worksop have got themselves up into the Premier League. I think we had a spoiler there. They have not got themselves up into the Premier League. They are in 10th position and probably not going to get into the playoff positions with a win here. 69-72. Now they can't get into the playoffs here, but you know, they're doing well to get up to 10th, and you know, they're not doing too bad. You know, if your team had got this far up into the thing, what do you need to be? Who's in the Premier League currently? Who's in the Premier League currently? Coventry, Blackburn, Leicester. Yeah, not really anyone that surprised. Southampton. Not really anyone that surprised, if you know what I mean. No one that I'd go, yeah, I think if Worksop get themselves promoted, they should be able to stay up and then do well. But I feel like I don't think £1 billion has helped Worksop, you know? I feel like they failed the challenge going to 2040. They have failed the challenge of getting themselves promoted. If we'd have done a few more seasons, I'd assume they would have got themselves to the Premier League. But that's it for this video. If you did enjoy, please smash the like button and subscribe. And just so you know, money does not equal success. Well, sometimes it does, but not for Worksop, it doesn't. We went from 2025 to 2040, and they could not get promoted to the Premier League. They did not win a Champions League, did not win an FA Cup, did not win any competitions. They were pretty terrible, to be honest, and it took them a few seasons to get out of the National League, but they tried their hardest and Worksop with £1 billion cannot get themselves to the Premier League. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video, so goodbye.